guys, so today is a super important day. Today is my, drum roll please, 100 days post allogenic stem cell transplant. I'm so excited. I can't even believe it that I'm 100 days post transplant, looking back on it as if it was a distant memory. It's amazing what God can do for you when you put your trust in your heart, in your soul, your everything, and you just give yourself to Him. I honestly, as you've seen in my previous videos, deciding to do this transplant has been the hardest decision of my entire life. And now looking back, I'm so grateful for everyone and everything that played a hand in getting me to this point. I'm happy that I had people to support me through the stress of the stress of even, bugging my doctor about it, just bringing it up, making it a conversation topic. So my sister from the beginning was like, you know what, if this is what you want, go for it. And so she did all the research for it. We presented it to my doctor. He was a little bit iffy about it. He obviously cares. We've been together for a very long time, and so he wanted just to make sure I was safe and I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. And so we went forward with it, and then going down to meet the team in the summer, meeting the Calgary team and all of that stuff has been amazing. They were so nice to me, so caring, compassionate from the very beginning. And then furthermore, figuring out, is this transplant really for me? There's so many risks associated. What about fertility? And everyone who helped me make the decision to eventually go forth and freeze my eggs. It was a hard decision, an expensive decision, but I don't regret it. It was definitely not easy. It was mentally and physically exhausting. It was a very trying time, and I'm happy that I made it past that. And then after that, the workup phase, getting ready for transplant, leaving my job and starting this new chapter in search of health kind of thing. It's been amazing, and going through the workup phase, all the appointments, the exhaustion that came along with it, all of the nerves and anxiety and the stress that came along with knowing I was going to get a bone marrow or I was going to get a stem cell transplant, and I don't know how it's going to go. But it just got to a point where I realized that this isn't something I can do by myself. This is something that God has to help me accomplish. And I prayed in this last year of my life. I have prayed more than I feel like I have in my entire life. I'm not even kidding you. It was every day. It is all multiple times a day. I had an army of people praying for me to get me to this point I am right now. And to imagine that I went through the chemo, I finished my chemo, I finished my radiation, that my sister did her injections, she did her apheresis, she did all of that to withdraw this beautiful bag of stem cells for me. It was infused in about an hour and 45 minutes. So it's just crazy thinking that an hour and 45 minutes of my life changed the entire course of my life. It's surreal. It honestly is surreal. It was surreal looking back on transplant after I did it and saying I'm coming home. But it's crazy talking to my camera from my house, from my room where I was before. It looks a little bit different now because my sister revamped it a little bit for me, but it's amazing. I honestly am so lucky and I'm so blessed. And can you imagine that I'm the first adult sickle cell patient in Canada to get an allogenic stem cell transplant for sickle cell anemia? They've been doing stem cell transplants for a long time, but for different conditions. And so the fact that I was the first person, their first adult that they opened this up to, and they believed in me, they had faith that I could do it, God has really made me a living testimony, and I am going to fight for sickle cells. I'm going to fight for bone marrow transplant patients and stem cell transplant patients. I'm going to fight for all the people who maybe they don't have fight left in them. Maybe they're tired of waiting for a cure. Maybe they're tired of dealing with the pain that goes along with sickle cell. I was tired of it. I was at a point where I was tired of it. And it's just amazing how at my lowest rock bottom point in my sickle cell journey, that's when God found me, swooped me up, and said, you know what, I'm gonna make a way for you. And that's exactly what he did, and I couldn't be happier, couldn't be more grateful, couldn't be more thankful. Such a blessing. It really is such a blessing. But yeah, so that's a little bit about the significance of today, how I feel. So this is my first video I'm filming back at home. Super excited to be back home. How has it been so far? Amazing. It's nice just to be back in your own bed. Sorry, not the right time to sleep, but definitely it's so nice to be back in my bed and in my room, and it's kind of makes me feel like I'm that much closer to getting back to reality, or getting back to normal life. Obviously I have a long way to go, but it's one step in the right direction. So I've been home for about a week. I met the entire Calgary team, I met the entire Edmonton team that I'll be meeting with at the Cross Cancer Institute. Everyone is super nice, from the nurses. My nurse is very nice, my doctor, my pharmacist, physiotherapist, everyone. They're all very, very nice, and there's lots of different people who will be kind of managing my care, which is really nice to know that I will be split between lots of different people. And eventually I will also go back to my sickle cell clinic that I was at before transplant, and they will still follow up with me in conjunction with my hematologist / oncologist at the Cross Cancer. And so it is great. It has been nice that way. Let me see, I can update you med wise what's going on here. So meds, what am I taking right now at 100 days post transplant? I am taking, I still have my sirolimus, the anti-rejection, folic acid, vitamin D, valacyclovir, which is our antiviral, colchicine, which is the medication given to me for the pericarditis I had, or I guess have. Keflex is an antibiotic, and Dapsone as well, another antibiotic I'm taking. I am taking Claritin for my rashes that I did have. They are still there. They are getting a little bit better, but still quite itchy. And then for the rashes as well, I'm putting a Benadryl cream and a hydrocortisone steroid cream on it, kind of after I shower every day. So that's where I am meds wise. They haven't really been changing too many of my meds. I've just kind of been stable on it so far. And so now that I am back and I've met the team here, they're kind of going to get me back to, it's essentially I'll be doing my workup phase, but I guess it's my post-transplant workup, where they just make sure that the baselines you were at before transplant, you're still at now after transplant, which is exciting, nerve-wracking. I'm really hoping that transplant, like the chemotherapy and the radiation, do have the potential to damage can damage organs and different things like that. And so I'm really, really hoping that that didn't happen to me, and I'm lucky. But either way, whatever happens, happens. Where there is a will, there is a way. God seems to always find a way. So I'm just going to keep on pushing forward. I am so happy and I'm so blessed to be here at 100 days looking back on all of this. But honestly, I couldn't have gotten here without the support from my family, my friends, the nurses, the doctors who helped me while I had sickle cells and up until Calgary, and the Calgary team who's really and truly changed my life. All of the nurses, doctors, dietitians, physiotherapists, pharmacy, everybody has played such a giant part in my recovery. It's just amazing. And first and most of all, I need to thank Elaine. Elaine is the wonderful woman who so graciously gave my family a place to stay while we were in Calgary, completely free of charge, and it was beautiful. I still think about it, and she's really changed my life. And just the fact that I had the opportunity to get so close to someone who is so caring, so giving, who just gives and gives and gives, it's really inspired me to pass it on, pay it forward, and continue that ripple effect that she has created. But yes, There are amazing people out there, and I think we can all get healthy and do great things together. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so happy to be at 100 days. I have my non-alcoholic wine here to celebrate. But yeah, talk to you later. Cheers. Cut my hair probably about 2 months ago. Yep, and this is the product. My hair is growing very fast in the back, and in the front it wants nothing to do with growth. The front of my head wants nothing to do with hair growth.